Hi, welcome to the video. My name's Dychronic, and today I'm taking a look at these Xurs location as random rolls, my recommendations for December 30th, 2022. And again, just want to mention that this is going to be the last week of the Dawning. You have 3 more days to complete everything for the Dawning. Or 4? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, 4 days. Yeah, I got 4 days. You can find the Xur in his regular place in the tower. Just make your way into the top left section of the hangar, and you can find the Xur right here next to the edge of this cliff thing, which I guess we'll call a... I don't know, there must be a word for it. This is a high overview, in case this is all you cared about. First up today, we have the Prometheus lens, and this one is a weird one, although in my opinion, not really as good as all the other trace rifles. Although it has 100 aim assistance, and 100 recoil, and 100 magazine, and 110 rounds per minute. Essentially, you fire a beam of energy, and it creates a little orb of solar damage near the end of that beam that's supposed to do a bunch of extra damage, but actually does very, very little extra damage, and you also automatically refill the magazine from kills. It's just kind of meh. Although in general, I would say trace rifles have a pretty decent time to kill compared to a lot of primary weapons, so don't overlook trace rifles in general. After that, for the Hunter exotic, we have the Shards of GALANOR, where hits and kills with your blade barrage return super energy after the super ends. And generally, I would have thought that this would have been much more popular after Solar 3.0. However, the starter scales just became more popular because more damage equals more better. But outside of just doing damage to a boss, doing your super more often and just consistently is just really nice. I wouldn't put this in a top 10, and I haven't used it very often, but I'd still say it's a good exotic. As far as the role goes, I guess you'd like to see a lot of intellect. Intellect's okay. Probably like to see a lot of mobility, resilience, and recovery, and could be better, and the total stats is a little bit low. And it has an ornament, which I do not have, but it can be festive. Up next, for the Titan exotic, we have the FANG pauldrons. For the longest time, one of my favorite exotics in the game, makes Sentinel Shield from kind of okay to lasting a really long time. First of all, void melee kills give you super energy. Not a big part, but does help. And while Sentinel Shield is active, melee kills recharge your shield throw, and then your shield throw extends your super on hits, essentially allowing your shield throws to extend your super a lot longer. And of course, you can also get those melee kills and then get more shield throws, keeping in mind that the longer you're in your super, the more damage you deal, the more attention you draw, the high resistance you have. You can spawn more orbs by blocking and defending your teammates. It's just a lot of fun. As far as the role goes, I guess you like to see a lot of intellect, and then probably recovery and resilience. Does not have the resilience I'd like to see, but the total stats is near the average, which is around 63-64. And finally, for the Warlock exotic, we have the Skull of AHAMKARA. This one is quite simple. First of all, your Nova Bomb kills give you super energy, which is essentially more Nova Bombs from Nova Bomb kills. And this used to be crazy broken. We could get your full Nova Bomb. Now it's capped out at 50%, just like every other super generating exotic. And furthermore, you get additional damage resistance during Nova Bomb, which, fun fact, is the highest damage resistant in the game. However, obviously, it's very short. As far as this particular exotic goes, obviously crank that intelligence. Go for recovery and resilience, and honestly, a decent amount of each. And the total stats is on the average. After that, let's take a look at the legendary weapons. First up, the Wob, we have the Whispering Slab. Killing Wind and Vorpal is okay, although there definitely could be a lot better options, and in general, you do want to focus on accuracy on these lightweight frames. Following that, we have the Dire Promise, which I'm not a really big fan of. It's one of those, high handling stability and low range, and high magazine hand cannons, and honestly, this roll is not really that good. Following that, we have the Escape Velocity, which is a lightweight frame. A lot of people like lightweights. Overflow is nice to have. Vorpal is okay, and the rest is decent with range, but there are a lot better lightweight frames, like Submission, for example. Following that, Timeless Vertex, Firmly Planted Disruption Break. Okay combination, but there are definitely better rolls for PvP in general. Following that, Fractithis, which is a precision buckshot frame, which has actually become a bit more popular because of the new spread system, but this is definitely not a PvP setup. Following that, we have the Falling Guillotine, which is a popular sword with the surrounded and energy transfer. Definitely still like Relentless, probably Vorpal or Whirlwind here still. And finally, we have Star and Shadows, which is a field prep, and Vorpal, which again, not what you're looking for. Definitely want this to be more of a PvP weapon with more PvP perks. After that, for the legendary armor, real quick, just gonna check and see. Nope, no more shaders. It seems like they're not putting shaders in these armors anymore. We got a 62 with a high resilience and discipline. Not a bad roll, but very low recovery. High recovery and of course discipline, which is decent enough. We have 60 with recovery and again, no resilience. And finally 61 with very high resilience, 61. These are all kind of okay, depends how it all fits within your build. And of course, the exotic weapons. First up today, we have the Hawkmoon with a rangefinder and clearly a recoil direction. My number one rule here is I like rangefinder even after the nerf, and one of these two giving recoil direction, which it seems that it's going to be chambered compensator. And honestly, the only thing I'd say is that I probably would have liked to see maybe hammerforge rifling and then the recoil direction here so you can have more range, but this is a pretty good roll and I would recommend it. After that, we have DMT, which I usually like to see moving target or Vorpal, and of course one recoil direction to get it up to 99, and it has none of that. I just realized there's bullets on the stock here. Why don't we ever use the bullets on the stock? Well, I guess, you know, we have infinite ammo, so we don't need the bullets on the stock. And of course, every engram that you get, or every exotic engram, guarantees you an exotic you've never received before, and it comes out with a high stat roll, outside of, obviously, the Lost Sector exotics. Damn, that is a very tall wall. You gotta wonder what the point of a giant wall is when they have spaceships, but, you know, to each their own. And of course, a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Specifically, a big thank you to Mom, Dad, Cape Shaw, Robert Schreier, Monty, Stu Buckers, June Panther, Case Reagan, Marcus Lover, Father, support on Patreon. And that's it. Hope you guys did enjoy. My name's Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.